In a quiet village, surrounded by dusty roads and whispering trees, lived Mama Ifeoma, a poor widow known for her warm smile and generous heart. Life had not been easy since her husband passed, leaving her to raise their only son alone. Sadly, even her son didn't live long. Sickness took him early. Now old, with no family left, she sold roasted maize and akara at the roadside just to afford a meal. Her clothes were faded, her roof leaked when it rained, but her heart it stayed rich in kindness. She believed helping others was the only way to keep life meaningful. Neighbors often asked, Mama Ifeoma, why do you keep giving when you have so little? She would simply smile and say, when you help others, the universe never forgets. One hot afternoon, as the sun beat down on the village, Mama Ifeoma saw a young boy sitting by the roadside. He looked about 12, barefoot, dirty, with torn slippers beside him. His eyes were empty, hungry and tired. Mama called him over and gave him a small wrap of muamua and cold water. The boy stared, surprised. Eat, she said gently. No child should go hungry. His name was Chinedu. He had no parents, no home, just the streets. Mama Ifeoma felt a tug at her heart. She saw her late son in his eyes. Come back tomorrow, she said. You don't have to be alone. Weeks passed, and Chinedu became a regular face around Mama Ifeoma's store. She gave him food, let him help with chores, and even taught him how to count money. One rainy evening, Chinedu confessed he had a dream to go to school, to become someone. Mama Ifeoma had saved a little money for her old age, hidden in a tin under her bed. That night she stayed up thinking. By morning, her mind was made. She took the tin, counted the money, and handed it to Chinedu. Use this. Go to school. Make me proud. Chinedu cried, unable to speak. She wiped his tears. One day, she whispered, just do good for someone else. Chinedu clutched the money like it was gold. He didn't waste a second. The next morning, he boarded a bus to the town where his late uncle once lived. It wasn't easy. He begged his way through, faced rejection, and even slept outside a few nights. But luck found him. A kind school principal, moved by his story, accepted him into a public school and waived most of the fees. Chinedu used Mama Ifeoma's money to buy books, a uniform, and pay what he could. Every time he opened his notebook, he whispered a prayer for her. Her sacrifice lit a fire in him. He had to succeed. He studied harder than anyone else. While others laughed, he read. While others slept, he dreamed. Not for fame, but to prove Mama Ifeoma's kindness wasn't in vain. Back in the village, Mama Ifeoma's days grew harder. Her legs ached more. Her eyesight dimmed. With no savings left, she couldn't afford medicine. Some days she ate only one meal. Yet, she never complained. She missed Chinedu deeply, but knowing he was in school brought her joy. That boy will make it, she told herself. The villagers watched her with pity. Some helped with small things, but no one could do what Chinedu did. Still, she kept her faith alive. He'll come back, she whispered at night. He'll remember me. Months later, Mama Ifeoma received her first letter from Chinedu. A kind neighbor read it aloud. Chinedu wrote about school, his new friends, and how he had won a scholarship. He promised to come back one day. Mama wept with joy, hugging the letter to her chest like a treasure. It was her reward, proof that her sacrifice had bloomed. She showed the letter to everyone. See, she said, smiling. He's doing well. My boy is becoming somebody. The villagers, moved by her story, began to admire her even more. Some even called her Mama Chinedu. Years passed like the wind, and Chinedu grew into a fine young man. He finished secondary school as one of the best students in the region. His story spread how a poor widow had changed his life. A foundation took notice and offered him a full scholarship to study engineering at the university. Chinedu never forgot where he came from. He didn't chase luxury or waste time. Every break, he worked, doing part-time jobs, tutoring, even cleaning floors. He sent small gifts and letters to Mama Ifeoma when he could. She never asked, but he always gave. One day, he promised himself, I'll return and build her a better life. Mama Ifeoma, now older and weaker, tried to keep her stall going. Her legs trembled more, her memory sometimes faded. Yet she smiled when she spoke of Chinedu. My son is in university, she'd say proudly. But inside, she fought silent battles. Her health was failing, coughs that never stopped, nights she couldn't sleep. One morning, she collapsed by her stall. Neighbors rushed her to the local clinic, but they lacked the tools to treat her properly. She needed better care. The doctor said she must be taken to the city. But who would take her? Who had that kind of money? As fate would have it, one of the villagers remembered Chinedu's letters and found an old number. They called him. When Chinedu heard the news, he froze. His hands shook. My mother? He whispered. Where is she? Without delay, he left everything and traveled home. After nearly 7 years, he returned, not as the barefoot boy Mama Ifeoma once fed, but as a grown man, confident and determined. He didn't come empty-handed. He came with hope, love, and enough money to save her life. The moment he saw her frail body on the hospital bed, tears filled his eyes. Mama, he whispered, you saved me once. Now it's my turn. Without wasting time, Chinedu arranged for an ambulance to take Mama Ifeoma to the city hospital. The ride was long, but he held her hand the whole way, whispering, Stay with me, Mama. You must live. At the hospital, doctors ran tests and confirmed she had a severe infection and weak lungs. You came just in time, one of them said. A few more days and Chinedu didn't let him finish. He focused only on one thing, making sure Mama recovered. He paid for the best room, the best care, and visited every single day. He wouldn't leave her side. You once gave me your all, he said to her sleeping form. Now I'll give you mine. After weeks of treatment, Mama Ifeoma began to improve. Her breathing steadied. Her smile slowly returned. She looked at Chinedu one morning and said, You came back, just like you promised. He nodded, trying to hide his tears. I couldn't forget you, Mama. I never will. They spent long hours talking, laughing, remembering the old days. He told her about school, his struggles and victories. She listened like a proud mother. I didn't birth you, she said one day, but heaven gave you to me. Chinedu replied, and you gave me life. When she was well enough, Chinedu took her to a new place, a modest but beautiful house in the city. No more leaking roofs, no more roadside stalls. Mama Ifeoma stepped in, her eyes wide. This is mine? She asked softly. Yes, Mama, you're home. You deserve it. He hired a nurse to care for her and a cook to prepare her favorite meals. She had a garden, a radio that played old songs, and peace at last. The village heard the news and praised Chinedu, but he told them, it wasn't me, it was her. Her kindness brought me this far. And with that, the poor widow, who once gave all she had, now lived in comfort, surrounded by love. Why, Chinedu was no longer the quiet boy in torn slippers. After university, he had landed a job with a big engineering firm. He worked hard, made smart choices, and started his own construction company. People who once ignored him now wanted to be associated with him. But he stayed humble. He always said, if not for one woman who believed in me, I'd still be begging on the streets. Whenever reporters asked about his success, he didn't talk about himself. He talked about Mama Ifeoma. She gave me a chance when no one else did. Everything I am today, I owe to her. One day, a local news crew visited Chinedu's home to do a documentary on his life. When they met Mama Ifeoma, they were drawn to her story. She spoke softly, with grace and wisdom. I didn't do anything special, she said. I just gave a hungry boy some food and believed in him. The video went viral. People across the country were touched. Strangers sent gifts. Some came just to see her. The world began to see what Chinedu had always known, that Mama Ifeoma wasn't just a poor widow. She was a hero in disguise. Chinedu decided it was time to give back in a bigger way. He set up a foundation in Mama Ifeoma's name to help street children go to school, just like he once dreamed of. The foundation offered food, shelter, education, and hope. Mama Ifeoma cried the day he told her. You turned my pain into purpose, she whispered. You are the blessing I never asked for, but always needed. Every child the foundation helped felt the warmth of her story. Chinedu made sure they knew, your future is not where you are now. It's where you're going, and someone believes in you. One evening, as Mama Ifeoma sat in her garden sipping tea, a group of distant relatives arrived from the village. People who had ignored her for years now came smiling, claiming they were family. They praised her new life and begged for money. Chinedu watched quietly. Later, he asked her, do you want to help them? She chuckled softly. My heart is open, but my eyes are no longer blind. She gave them food and fare to return home, but didn't entertain their greed. Chinedu admired her wisdom. Even in plenty, you remain the same humble woman, he said. She smiled. Kindness has its limits, my son. Not everyone deserves your sacrifice. That night, Chinedu sat beside her and said, Mama, I want to officially make you my mother. I want to change my documents. You are all the family I know. Tears filled her eyes. Oh, Chinedu, you don't have to. You already made me a mother long ago. But he insisted. He hired a lawyer and did the paperwork. From that day, Mama Ifeoma wasn't just his helper. She was legally his mother. Their bond was sealed, not by blood, but by love stronger than any bloodline could offer. As days passed, Mama Ifeoma grew weaker. Though her body slowed down, her mind remained sharp. She began to write in a small notebook lessons, stories, advice. For your children, she told Chinedu, and for those children in the foundation, let them know where this journey started. Every evening they'd sit together. She'd tell him folktales, proverbs, and secrets about life. Chinedu listened like a student. Your words will live long after you, he said. She smiled, placing the notebook in his hands. Then I have done well. One morning, Chinedu walked into Mama Ifeoma's room with her favorite tea, only to find her resting peacefully, her breathing soft and slow. She opened her eyes gently and smiled. My son, I feel full, not with food, but with joy. You gave me more than life ever promised. Chinedu knelt beside her, holding her frail hand. Mama, don't talk like this. You're not leaving me. She shook her head. I'm not leaving, my dear. I'm just going ahead, watching over you from another place. That day, as the sun set behind the clouds, Mama Ifeoma closed her eyes and didn't open them again. She left quietly, like a candle melting into the night, her mission complete. News of her passing spread like wildfire. People came from far and near to pay their respects. Chinedu buried her in her hometown, beneath the shade of a mango tree she once planted. The villagers wept. Reporters, community leaders, even strangers came to honor her. The woman who gave all she had to one poor boy had unknowingly touched a nation. Chinedu stood before the crowd and said, "She had nothing, yet gave me everything. Let this word never forget her name." And they didn't. That day, the poor widow was remembered not for her poverty, but for her heart. After the burial, Chinedu returned to the city and expanded the foundation. He renamed it the Ifeoma Light Foundation. It became a home for orphans, street children, and dreamers like he once was. Her notebook, filled with her handwritten words, was printed and shared across schools. Her quotes painted on the walls: "Kindness never dies. It grows even in hard soil." Chinedu often sat with the children, telling them, "I am who I am because one woman chose to believe in me." Her story became their hope. Her name lived on, not in gold, but in the hearts she helped heal. Years passed, and Chinedu became a father, not just to his own children, but to hundreds through the foundation. Each time a child walked through the gate, he saw a piece of himself in them, scared, hungry, but full of silent dreams. He welcomed them with open arms, saying, "You are safe here. Someone once helped me. Now it's my turn to help you." He didn't just give them food and clothes, he gave them dignity, belief, and hope. The same things Mama Ifeoma had given him when he had nothing. He kept her photo on his desk, whispering to it, "We're still changing lives, Mama, together." The Ifeoma Light Foundation grew into a national program. Sponsors, volunteers, and leaders joined hands to support it. Scholarships were given, new homes built, lives rebuilt. At every graduation, Chinedu stood on stage, looking at proud children and smiling parents, saying, "All this started with one widow's sacrifice." People no longer saw her as just a kind old woman. She became a symbol of hope, printed on book covers, in murals, and in the hearts of many. From a small wooden stall, she had unknowingly planted a seed that blossomed into a forest of healing. On the anniversary of Mama Ifeoma's passing, Chinedu visited her grave with his wife and children. They laid flowers and sat quietly. His daughter asked, "Daddy, was Grandma really poor?" He smiled gently. "She didn't have money, but she was the richest person I ever knew." His son added, "I want to help people too." And in that moment, Chinedu knew her legacy was safe. Her love had crossed generations, not through fame, but through action, not through wealth, but through sacrifice. And so the story ends not in sorrow, but in victory. Because true wealth is not in what you have, but in what you give.